Hi, welcome back to the channel. I am back with another subscriber request reading. This is going to be another reading on Crisean. So this subscriber request, I'm just reading it from my other phone. So this person says, and this is to, I love your name, by the way, to Apostle Brandetta Campbell. So this particular subscriber says, can you do a reading on Crisean pertaining to this spiritual journey? She says that she's on, and we see is she really done? I'm assuming this is a typo. So it says, is she really done with Blue? And I'm assuming she's talking about Blueface, okay? And has she moved on for real, or is this just a clout chase? All right, so let's see. So pretty much what I'm getting is, has Crisean moved on from Blue? Is it for real? Is it a clout chase? And is her religious journey a real one? Is her spiritual journey a real one? Okay. She's doing the whole, she talks a lot about Jesus and things like that. And she talked a lot about her faith in the beginning as well. And when I say in the beginning, I remember there was an interview that Crisean did with B. Simone. So you guys can actually look that up so you can see what I'm talking about and kind of make the connection. But I'm going to reference that just because I feel like B. Simone and her, and I think this is when B. Simone was still doing the podcast with her ex-friend now, Megan. So there is a interview that Megan does with B. Simone where they are interviewing Crisean, and they talk about, her spiritual journey, her walk with Jesus and things like that. And she does talk about that. She talks about her faith and all of that. So I do feel like that part of Crisean, she's always talked about her faith, because I've seen it in previous interviews, right? And this interview was before she even got the tattoo of Blue on her face. I think this was when her teeth had just gotten knocked out or something like that. And, people were trying to interview her. So yeah, so this had to have been at least 3, maybe 4 years old. So you guys can reference that interview and kind of watch that interview, and you guys will kind of see what I'm talking about. So with that being said, for her reading, I'm just going to use the traditional Rider-Waite tarot deck for Crisean's reading to answer this particular question, okay? Or these questions. All right, so, 1 second, y'all. And before I get into that, I do want to give a disclaimer that I do not know this young lady personally, nor does she know me. All right. I don't know anyone that's affiliated in the music or entertainment industry. I am simply a tarot reader. So everything that I am saying is alleged. All right. Do not take anything I say as the truth or the end all be all, because obviously I do not know these people and they don't know me. All right. So I am strictly going off of what the messages in the cards, the readings, what the cards are saying, and my own intuition. All right. So it's all allegedly. All right. So when it comes to Crisean, I also have other videos where, because I dreamt about her before, in the dream, I talk about it in a separate video, so you guys can kind of scroll down and search it. But there was a dream that I had, and it was, I want to say this was in 2022. So this is about 3 years ago. I had a dream, and it was with Crisean, JT, and Cardi B. All 3 of them were in the dream. I don't know what the relation is to each other, but in the recording, a lot of times I will call my dreams recording as well, but I'm going to say dreams so you guys can kind of follow along. So in this recording, I saw Crisean, JT, and Cardi B, but their faces were very distorted. Like they had all 3 of them had a cleft lip. Like, you know how those, they'll show you like pictures of children that have like a cleft lip, and like this part of their lip is completely gone, connected to their nose, like all that's gone. So I saw the women with their faces distorted in that way, in the recording. So I immediately woke up because I was like, why am I seeing these young ladies this way? So I do talk about, I go into the details of that in a separate video, so I'm not going to do that here. But I just think it's interesting, to see how things have played out with her getting the tattoo on her face and completely disfiguring herself, like just completely just, I mean, she was a natural beauty, you know, Crisean is a natural beauty. And to see her do that to her face lets me know that there is something else happening, mentally, spiritually. There could also be like some type of spiritual warfare going on within her. Okay, so yeah. So I will say that. All right, so let's get into some tarot. Okay, so is Crisean over Blue? Is she really over Blue? Is she done with Blue? Is her relationship with Blueface over? So when it comes to Crisean and her relationship with Jonathan, is it over? Yeah, I'm getting Six of Swords. So the Six of Swords talks about moving on, moving from turbulent waters to something more calm and more peaceful. So I do feel like she wants to be in a better space, in a better headspace. The Swords is a card of communication. It is an air sign card, so it talks about your thinking, what you speak, your words, how you communicate. So I feel like she is moving she would like to move in a positive direction, okay? Moving away from turbulent, like the waves here, going into something that's much calmer, okay? So I do feel like she does want to move on from Blue. However, because they have a child together, right, that is going to be a bit of a challenge. It is going to require her to set up boundaries. It's going to require her to have a lot of mental strength, okay? So yeah, so let's see. So we have the Six of Swords for that. Yeah. Because she's tired of being angry. I feel like there's a part of Crisean, you know, she's maturing, she's getting older, she's growing up right before our eyes, okay? And I'm not excusing any of the mistakes that she's done publicly. I'm not excusing any of the bad behavior, but I do see her trying. I see her trying. I do see her putting in the effort to move on and to be a better version of herself. With the Strength card, this talks about controlling your anger, controlling what you say, controlling your inner demons. And I feel like for her, she thinks that, you know, going, you know, the gospel route, you know, the rebranding that she's trying to do, that's the word I was looking for, rebranding. The rebranding that Crisean is trying to do with the gospel and all of that, that she wants to move into that space as part of her rebranding because she's tired of being angry. Okay, so I feel like she thinks that Jesus is going to help her control her anger and control her inner demons. But little do you know, there is no deity that can help you with those things. You have to want to do that first. You got to make the first step. And of course, the divine will step in. So I do feel like, you know, once she makes that step, I do see light at the end of the tunnel for her. All right, so let's continue. Yeah, with the Knight of Pentacles. So the Knight of Pentacles, I feel like Blue is going to try to pull at her heartstrings through the material, like giving her money. Like when he comes out, it's like, okay, well, let's get back to work. You know, we make a lot of money together. This is what I can give you. But he's penny pinching her. It's like he gives her a little bit just to keep her there, to try to reel her back into the relationship. So I do feel like Blue uses money to manipulate her to a certain degree. What was the next part of your question? Is her religious journey a real... Okay, so when it comes to Crisean's religious journey... Ooh, oh my gosh, why the Tower card came out? Yeah, this isn't built on strong, solid foundation here. The Tower. I feel like she's using religion. I believe that she believes that she's doing the right thing. But from the outside looking in, it's a disaster waiting to happen with the Tower. This is complete disaster, complete turmoil, everything burnt. People jumping out the window, like just, You know what I'm saying? This is complete destruction, okay? But this is divine destruction. So this is the kind of destruction where it's like the hand of God steps in to completely destroy, because I do feel like the creator of all is not only the creator, but it is also the destroyer, right? So God is a creator and a destroyer. So when things don't work, if things are not built on solid ground, I feel like something happens that completely destroys the foundation. So I feel like that's when the divine steps in. That's when God steps in to destroy what is no longer serving you, okay? What's no longer good for you. So I do feel like when it comes to her religious life, she is going through some type of tower moment. She is going through a destruction, meaning destroying the old Crisean in order to build something new. So the tower doesn't necessarily mean that the person is going to be a better person, you know, after the destruction, but it does give them a clean slate. So it's like, I'm giving you this clean slate. You're starting at ground zero. Now let's see what you do with it, with this clean slate. Let's see how you rebrand yourself, how you build yourself back up, right? Once we've given you this clean slate. So when it comes to her religious life, I do feel like she does want to be in a better headspace, but I do feel like there is a lot of inner turmoil. There's a lot of things that need to be destroyed and need to be broken down in order to rebuild herself. Yeah. So we have the Ten of Swords. The Ten of Swords talks about backstabbing, talks about betrayal. And see, and this is what makes me feel like it's not genuine. Like from the outside looking in, I'm seeing is like she's not being genuine with her religious spiritual journey. But I also believe that she believes she's doing the right thing. But there's a lot of manipulation here. There's a lot of betrayal here. There's a lot of backstabbing here. Something just isn't right. And I feel like, and here is the Knight coming in again as the Knight of Cups. So we have the Nine of Pentacles and then the Nine of Cups clarifying that. So it's like she wants to make better moves with finances. She wants to feel better. But there's something that's like, there's a hesitation here. There's a halt. Something is being, it's like she's hesitating. Clarify the Knight. Why are the Knight of Pentacles and the Knight of Cups here for Crisean? Clarify the Knight of Pentacles and the Knight of Cups. There's a truth here that's going to come out with the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords is a card of truth. This could also be a card of victory. But the Swords talks about communication. So it's either a message, some type of truth coming out, some information coming out, okay, whether it's written or verbal. There's some type of truth here that's coming out about her and Blue. With the High Priestess. So the High Priestess, definitely, this is the religious card, okay? The High Priestess is someone that is very intuitive, okay? The High Priestess, in this sense, could be a bit manipulative with the surrounding cards. We have the Tower. We have the Ten of Swords, okay? So there is a bit of manipulation here. So I do feel like Crisean knows what she's doing to a certain degree. There's a level of mystery behind her, but there's also like, I know what I'm doing, you know, and even if I have to stab a few people in the back in order to make that happen, I'm going to make that happen, okay? So I do feel like she's not going into this blindly, okay? I do feel like there could be some secrets that comes out about her or Blue, okay? Because a High Priestess is someone that she has inner knowledge, inner knowing, so she knows like secrets, right? She knows she knows things. She has a higher knowing of things, okay? So this could talk about secrets coming out or some type of truth being exposed here that is going to cause a tower moment. So next to the high priestess here is 2 pillars, right? And on this pillar is the letter B, and on this pillar is the letter J. I feel like this is Blueface, and then this is probably the other guy that she's with now online. I don't know if his initials are J. I'm not sure, but I do feel like there's two different men in her life. Okay. This could also talk about her son. Okay, I just heard Junior. So like, I believe her son, isn't her son's name Crisean Jr. or something like that? So there could be some truth coming out about her and her son that's going to be exposed. And she's going to feel very betrayed by this. Whoever this person is that comes out and says this here about her and her son, she feels very betrayed by this person, and she's very angered. This is going to make her really angry. Even though she may not show that, but like she's really angry and she feels betrayed by this person here. Whatever this truth is that comes out here. What else? Okay, so we have the Ace of Pentacles. All right, so an opportunity comes in for her. I mean, we're definitely going to be seeing Crisean. Like she is very much sought after in different spaces. So we're not going to see the last of her. Okay, she is going to she's an opportunist is what I'm getting with this. She's an opportunist. So if someone is offering her a bag, she's going to take it. She's not turning down no money. Okay, she's an opportunist in that way where it's like, if the opportunity presents itself, she's going for it. Okay, with the Hangman. So the Hangman talks about seeing something from another point of view. Okay, so there's illumination here, right? But you're watching it from upside down. So you're seeing things from another point of view, someone else's point of view. When it comes to her spirituality, is she genuine? Ooh, the cups, the 5 of cups. So I don't feel like it's genuine. I feel like there is some manipulation here with the backstabbing, right? With the 10 of Swords. There's some type of manipulation. I feel like something doesn't go the way that she planned. The 5 of Cups talks about an emotional loss. So someone crying over spilled milk. It's like, you know, things didn't turn out the way that they wanted it to. So they're emotionally distraught. This could even be someone crying. Okay, this person is focused on the 3 cups that fell over, but they don't realize that they have 2 cups back here that they can still work with. So you still have something to work with, but you're so focused on the negative that you don't see the positive. You don't see what's behind you here that you can still work with, because you're so focused on what you've lost that you don't see what you still have. Okay, so this is, I'm getting, okay. So Crisean went to religion to help her with her drinking. I do feel like Crisean is an alcoholic, and she feels like religion, Jesus, her faith helps her to not drink. And sometimes when she's going through it and it's too much to handle, she may resort back to drinking again. But she's trying very hard to not do that. She doesn't want to drink because she sees what her drinking has caused. Her drinking has caused a lot of problems for her and for her family. I'll say that, okay? So she sees what the drinking has caused, what the alcohol has caused, and she feels guilt behind that. She does feel guilt, and she knows what she did with the high priestess. She knows what she did was wrong, okay? And she feels guilt behind that. What else? Show me the new guy that she's dating. Nine of Swords. Yeah, no. I feel like the new guy is really like the clout chase. Not even say clout chase, but it's like, I'm showing the world that I moved on from Blue. I moved on from him because I'm with this new guy. But we all know that she may want to move on from him, but I feel like there's something that is holding her back from moving on completely from Blue. And that's because, girl, you got this big... I mean, she has completely marked herself with Blueface. So it's like she literally put the spell on herself by... You have a tattoo of his face on your cheek. So you have branded yourself and covered your entire physical body with Blueface. So what do you think is going to happen? It's not going to be easy to get rid of him because you have branded yourself with him. So your entire being, your whole aura oozes Blueface. It oozes Jonathan. So it's going to be very hard for her to do that. This is mental turmoil, mental tribulation. Okay, she's going through it mentally. Something is keeping her up at night, and I feel like it's her guilt, what she did, okay, what her drinking has caused her with the Five of Cups here, you know? But it's like she's so focused on the negative that she doesn't notice, like, focus on the good things. Focus on the things that you are doing that are great. Okay, things happen. Now you got to deal with your consequences. You got to live with those consequences of your actions. So now it's like, you got to put your big girl panties on and, you know, do what needs to be done as a mother and just as a person, as a human being in general, okay? But I feel like ultimately this is what she wants. Ultimately, Crisean wants the happy life. She wants to be a wife. She wants that, okay? And I feel like there is a possibility for this to happen for her. Okay, with the Ten of Cups and the Four of Wands. The Four of Wands talks about the home, the family life, twin flame energy. Ten of Cups talks about being emotionally fulfilled, being happy. Okay, I also feel like this has to do with her sobriety. She could be doing like what Black China did. Okay, well, her name is Angela. You know, she's going by Angela White now. But I feel like Black China rebranded herself. You know, she's still on her sobriety journey. She also stopped drinking. And I feel like Crisean needs to take a page out of Angela White's book. So I feel like if Black China, if you do see this, maybe she may need to have people around her like that have gone through it, that are in their sobriety, that are doing the work, but they are also using their faith to push them forward to be better versions of themselves, okay? Because I don't judge anyone for whatever their religious beliefs are. As long as it's making you a better person, hey, that's, you know, everyone has a right to choose and freedom of religion, right? We're in America. So we're able to express our spirituality in whatever way we see fit. So I do feel like Crisean needs to take a page out of Angela White's book. That's what I would recommend, okay? There's a lot of things that keeps her up at night. There's guilt here. There's worry. There's despair. Okay, there could even be depression. But ultimately, she wants this. I do feel like she wants to celebrate her sobriety with these cups, right? With the drinking. She wants to celebrate that. Okay? I even see her with another woman. I'm getting LGBTQ as well, right? So she may move on. We may see her down the line in a relationship with another woman. We may see that, but okay, girl. Whatever works for you. Yeah, so I do feel like ultimately this is what she wants. As a part of her, she just wants a family. She wants a family so much that she will do whatever she needs to get that. She wants the family life. She wants the home life. She wants the house. And I feel like this is possible for her, okay? Her next card is the Magician, right? So she has all of the things that she needs to manifest this, but she has to put in the work, okay? The Magician puts things together, so you have to put in the work. You cannot just run to the church and run to religion and say, God, fix it, or Jesus, fix it, Jesus, take the wheel. No, you have to take the necessary steps in order for the divine to step in and help you with that, okay? But you got to take the first steps. So that is what I'm getting. I'm seeing her on you know, a journey of sobriety. I do feel like the relationship that she's in now is to kind of show Blueface, like, yeah, I've moved on from you. I'm with this new guy. I really don't feel like it's genuine. But I do feel like, as far as like her religious life, her spiritual journey, I believe that Crisean believes in what she's doing. Okay. But like I said, there is a little bit of manipulation there. There's a lot of guilt that Crisean is carrying when it comes to her actions and the way that she lived her life publicly with Blueface and the things that we saw online. You know, a lot of people saw a lot of things. Um, so yeah, so these are things that she's going to have to deal with. There's a lot of mental, you know, mental anguish that she needs to work through. Okay. And I feel like that is a possibility for her to work through that. But like I said, we'll see how things play out. All right. So that was Crisean's reading. I hope that answered your question, and I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you have reached the end of this video, make sure you thumbs up the video, like the video, share this video, and I will see y'all on the next one. Peace.